The whole purpose of this channel is to find undiscovered revolutionary technology that can provide life-changing returns. The early stage investors in Amazon, Google, Microsoft all did the exact same thing. All they had to do is find revolutionary technology in the early stages of a mega trend and hold on in the volatility. Well, we have that opportunity right now. We've been in a crypto winter for years. These assets are totally undiscovered. So today, let's dive into Bittensor, right? Massive updates from this network. Let's see if this is one of the assets that can 100x and provide those life-changing returns, right? Well, to start, this comes from Jacob Steeves, the leader of the Open Tensor Foundation, which is the primary developer of the Bittensor network, right? Well, this speaks to the strategy of Bittensor, right? They don't have a marketing team. They're trying to grow organically. And what Jacob Steeves is saying is never pay for listings, starve the exchanges. This is why Bittensor doesn't trade on Coinbase, and it's actually very positive that it doesn't trade on a lot of these big centralized exchanges, right? Because there aren't as many panic sellers. There isn't as much volatility. What you have is a bunch of people building in the ecosystem that understand the ecosystem, stacking TAO, right? Because the more TAO you stack, the more power you have in the ecosystem, the more passive income you earn, right? All the value in a digital ownership network comes from the holders. Paying for listings is like giving your kids steroids. Let your community grow. They'll come list you on your terms when you're bigger than them. TAO's fully diluted market cap is $13 billion. It's already getting massive. So that's just one look at their strategy, right? And why does he think that TAO can become truly massive? Well, let's look at some updates from this network. The Dippy AI app hit number 3 on the App Store in Germany. Soon, one subnet on Bittensor, subnet 11, will power the app. So the technology being created by Bittensor is now starting to power some real world applications. The number 3 app in Germany after Netflix and TikTok, right? So here are some stats related to this app. 600,000 monthly active users. That's 6 months since launch. 10,000 plus models submitted, and it's powered by Bittensor Subnet 11, right? Model trading is done on Subnet 11 and inference on Manifolds Lab, Subnet 4. You can choose Mini and Dippy's model picker to try it for yourself. So that speaks to the revolutionary nature of this technology, right? What Bittensor does is incentivize intelligence, right? So Bitcoin incentivizes miners for solving math problems. Bittensor incentivizes people for solving real world changing problems, right? Like machine learning, artificial intelligence, protein folding, decentralized science. And the more TAO tokens you have, the more influence you have deciding where those funds are flowing, right? So just an incredible tokenomics model, fixed supply, major adoption, right? And this headline speaks to the big players behind Bittensor. Digital currency groups Barry Silbert bets big on AI blockchain Bittensor. Barry Silbert will be the CEO of Yuma, a new digital currency group company focused on incubating and building new businesses within Bittensor's decentralized AI ecosystem. So who is Barry Silbert? He's the founder and CEO of Digital Currency Group. Digital Currency Group's biggest revenue generator is its digital asset manager, Grayscale, which oversees $28 billion worth of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other assets, right? So this is a multi-billionaire. Super influential in the crypto space. And now he's CEO of a company that is focused on building new businesses within Bittensor's decentralized AI ecosystem, right? So you have OSS Capital, which is a venture capital firm with over $1 billion in assets under management going all in on Bittensor. Now you have Barry Silbert and his companies investing heavily into Bittensor, right? There's a lot going on. There's over 50 subnets right now within this decentralized ecosystem, all building, all trying to earn TAO. And here's just one example, Subnet 19. It has inference faster than almost all of Web 2, excluding Grok. That's why this is world-changing technology, because it really is a decentralized way of competing with big tech, right? It's harnessing the world's resources to earn TAO and create revolutionary technology, right? So this is Jacob Steeves again. Focus on incentive design, nothing else, right? So that's what the primary focus is, just making sure that people have the right incentive. If the smartest people on the planet have the right incentives, they will build revolutionary technology, right? So it's very free market, very capitalistic. Someone said, do you think Bittensor miners are some of the best computer science minds in the world, or has it not permeated those circles yet? And Jacob Steeves, again, All we know is that they are beating the best, so who cares? And we just talked about how Subnet 19 is literally beating all of Web 2, except for Elon Musk's Grok, right? And in previous videos, I talked about how there are so many examples of Bittensor technology beating big tech. And then there's this game-changing update called Dynamic TAO that they're working on. Why is DTAO a game changer? The goal of Dynamic TAO is to create an environment where TAO emissions get directed to subnets by all participants in the network instead of just a few. Currently, there's just a handful of huge validators that are deciding which subnets are getting the majority of TAO, right, as compensation for mining and solving massive problems, right? What they want to do is make it super free market oriented. By assigning their token to one subnet instead of another, TAO holders direct more emissions toward that subnet. In exchange, they receive the subnet dynamic token, which varies in price according to the quantity of TAO assigned to this subnet, right? So it's very free market oriented, right? The goal is to have hundreds, if not thousands, of subnets, right? And the holders of TAO, where they want to stake their TAO token. If they think that one subnet is super revolutionary and it's going to change the world, then they're going to want to stake their TAO with that subnet and earn income from that subnet. Right? So they're going to be investing in that subnet with their TAO. In exchange, they're going to receive the subnet dynamic tokens, all right? So each subnet's going to have their own token, and the more TAO is staked, the more valuable that token becomes, right? So it's very free market. In other words, they are taking a risk when directing emissions to a subnet and can get rewarded or penalized for this risk. So this is going to be a market-driven approach. The free market's going to decide what the most valuable problems are, and it's going to make the overall TAO token even more valuable because it's going to really incentivize only the best technology to be created, right? And minimize the wasting of resources, right? So the TAO is going to flow to the most valuable projects, right? And that's going to make the overall ecosystem more valuable. So massive. And this is where the numbers get absolutely insane for this ecosystem, right? We're talking about incentivizing problem solving. Well, what does that look like in terms of dollars of value being used to incentivize this, right? How much money is going into the miners' hands for solving problems? There's a total supply of TAO of 21 million. Currently, the circulating supply is 7.4 million. So the first halving is going to happen in about a year, right? That's going to decrease the amount of rewards people are earning by half, right? Well, by the time that happens, there's going to be 10.5 million TAO in circulation, which means that 2 million TAO in the next year are going to be spent on solving problems in this ecosystem. What is the dollar value of $2 million of TAO? If the price of TAO is $600, that's $1.2 billion that's about to be invested in the TAO ecosystem via TAO tokens, right? Over the next year, assuming the price stays flat. What if it goes up? Numbers get insane, right? But assuming the price stays flat, they're about to spend $1.2 billion invested. That's a huge, huge budget, right? Again, if TAO doubles, it's going to be $2.4 billion spent in the next year, right? So they have a massive budget. That's why they're solving real problems, because the amount of dollars being invested in this ecosystem is truly enormous, right? And over time, just like Bitcoin, the amount of TAO that's spent is going to shrink, right? So that's going to make it scarcer and scarcer. More and more validators are going to be gobbling it up, have more influence in the ecosystem to earn more income from the ecosystem, right? Again, it's a fixed supply. So it's going to get scarcer and scarcer. The price is supposed to rise massively. That's going to provide more dollars and liquidity in the ecosystem to incentivize problems. And so it's an incredible flywheel. So again, as early stage investors, it's hard to not be super excited about what they're building in this ecosystem, right? Incredible flywheel, incredible tokenomics, incredible building, incredible technology, right? So I'll have to keep you posted on what is going on with this ecosystem. But can this thing 100x over time? Absolutely. That would put it at a $800 billion market cap, driven primarily by unbelievable incentives and the revolutionary world-changing technology that's being created with this ecosystem.